Hi, thanks, guys.
Like
Good to
this
see
guy
you
right
again.
here.
Hi, Jake. How are you?
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Ryan, I'm actually going to start with you. Like many people watching this movie, I ugly cried, and not like a cute single tear down the cheek, like a gagging, silent, ugly cry. I was wondering if an actor in their movie could sort of have the same reaction. Can you cry watching your own movie, or are you too close to it? I mean, and also an extension of that, what's the on-screen moment in your career that has most emotionally affected you when you watched it?
Oh boy, I am still really deeply moved when I see the movie. And look, I was lucky enough to produce the movie with Sean Levy, who we also did Free Guy together, and so I sat in the edit room with him on and off over the last year. And last night was the premiere of the film, and that's the first time both Sean and I have ever seen the movie with an audience. So that was a completely different experience for us as well. And usually when you're watching a movie that you're extremely close to, in particular with an audience, you start to see it through the prism of their experience as opposed to your own. So I was really moved and touched by it. And I think it also just, I was also sitting next to my mom in Lincoln Center at this amazing, beautiful theater and watching the movie. And I was sort of seeing it through her perspective as well. And so that was about as special a moment as I've ever had.
Do you ever lean over and say, like, aren't I really good? Like, I'm a great actor.
It sounds appropriately dickish, like something I might say, but no, no, I haven't. I don't say that. I mean, the other part of the movie that is very real to me is the self-loathing. I mean, that's my character's kind of self-loathing, which is why he also kind of hates the 12-year-old version of himself as well. So that's probably why sentences like you just referenced don't actually fly out of my mouth too much. But yeah, it was pretty special to see the movie last night.
Walker, whenever a young actor stars with a sort of established actor, the go-to question at these junkets is always like, oh, what did you learn from them? But I kind of want to flip the script on that for a second. What is the thing that you are most proud to have taught Ryan Reynolds while you were working together?
What do you think?
I don't really know if did I teach you anything?
I think so. You taught me that you're obviously new to this craft, but you're so honest in every moment. And I really watched that and I took something away from that, which is that, I can get trapped in my own head and my own thoughts a little bit too much, but I watched you and it was so pure and amazing and awesome.
Yeah, you taught me a lot. You taught me, he told me all the mistakes he made, and so I can take that and I can just get more mistakes.
Yeah.
And what's a great example, Ryan, of a mistake that you made that you shared with him that would be great for him to learn from?
I don't know if it was so much that. It was just like, there's a lot to know when you step on a set, especially as a young actor, and there's a lot of pitfalls and it's really difficult. Like being somebody in Walker's position to be on a set like that where it's very serious, it's high stakes, yet you still have to leave room for being a kid. You're in an adult world. There are all kinds of threats that come with that need to be navigated. And I think he's really lucky that he was part of a production staff that really understood the assignment, understood like how difficult it is for a young person to come into a situation like that. So there was a lot of room for him to kind of grow into this position, and he did it so well. The movie literally lives and dies on his performance in this film, and he delivers in every frame, and it's something I'm infinitely grateful for.
Really quick before I let you go, we're always trying to pull Deadpool and MCU information out of you, and we just can't do it because you're a steel trap. Do you tell Walker everything we're trying to get out of you? Does he know?
Yeah.
Walker, I'm going to text you later and just everything.
At lunch, I gave you the whole lowdown, didn't I? Everything.
I'm never going to tell anybody. Those secrets are going to go down with me on my deathbed.
You can talk about it before that. Most of them will come to reality before that. Best not to die before you, yeah.
Guys, I love you guys. Seriously, the film is an absolute flawless masterpiece, and I hope you guys know that we're not just blowing smoke, that we genuinely mean it when we say it. And Ryan, I slide into your DMs every day and tell you how much this movie means to me. So
I've known you for a long time, and I know that is to be true. So I thank you so much, Jake. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the interview.
Good to see you guys. Hope you're doing well.
Hi, Jake.
I've been doing Zooms for like 2 years now. I've never heard of anyone get an introduction like that. That was fantastic.
Right?
That was amazing.
She like builds in the compliment with my name. I love it.
Yeah, Jake Hamilton from Good Day Chicago, am honored to interview the very handsome and talented Sean Levy. Good to see you again.
She didn't even say handsome, Jake. So now
Some
I'm
things don't need to
handsome
be
and
said.
talented?
Some things don't need to be said, like the sky is blue. Like some things are just understood. Good to see you again, my friend. I wept my way through this, and not even a cute single tear, like a gagging, ugly cry. So I appreciate you for that, sir.
Right on. Well, this movie was definitely built to be an emotional experience, not just spectacle, not just fun and funny, but ultimately very warm-hearted. And I'm glad it landed in that way for you.
It absolutely did. There's a great story of director Robert Zemeckis calling up Tom Hanks before Forrest Gump and saying, "Look, man, we got a problem. The kid that we hired to be a young you has an accent." And Tom Hanks said, "Well, that's fine. I'll just play Forrest Gump with an accent." What is something specific about Walker that Ryan maybe had to adjust his own performance to so that they matched and were the same person?
I have to tell you, Ryan didn't need to adjust a damn thing to match up with Walker, because Walker, and we didn't know this when we cast him, had watched Deadpool 40 times, starting at the age of 7. So when he came to our movie, he already knew every nuance of the Ryan vibe and flow, and he was able to channel Ryan to Ryan. So it made things incredibly organic, and Ryan didn't need to work hard to sell the idea that this kid was little him.
Oh my God, it's perfect. The two of them are so, and that's a role. Sometimes younger roles can like break a film, but he made this film.
It's such a huge part that if I didn't have a 1 in a billion kid, this movie would not be what this movie is.
You're absolutely right. As of someone of a certain age, there's a quality in a film that that I love, and it's the way I describe it to people is like, oh, it's like an Amblin film, and people of a certain age or who know film know exactly what I mean when I say that. It's of an era. It has a feeling. It gives you certain emotions. As a filmmaker, what did you learn from that original sort of Amblin era in film, and how do you make me feel that way again?
I feel like Amblin showed that a movie could pair high concept and relatable feeling, that it could use technology to provide spectacular visuals, but always be anchored in human themes, human relationships, and relatable issues. So E.T. is about an alien, but it's really about loneliness. And Back to the Future is a fun ride, but it's also about getting to understand your parents when they were a teenager like you. These are rich ideas that are in the heart of a high concept. And that to me is what makes Amblin so lasting and iconic.
And it's funny whenever, I don't know if you remember like all the knockoffs that came out after that era, because you could tell which ones clearly didn't get what made those movies special because they were missing that. They would have a time travel or an alien concept, but with no heart. And you're like, oh, you didn't get it then. I guess you just didn't understand. As we wrap up, for all the big action set pieces in this film, and there's some really great ones, the moments that affected me that I loved are the small, quiet ones. Ryan and Jennifer in the bar just destroyed me. I'm curious, when you prepare for a day like that, maybe less of a technical preparation, but I'd imagine that you still go into a day like that ready to capture something special, different than an action scene, but in a way similar to an action scene.
Completely. And the bar is a perfect example because that scene is probably the most talked about scene already. And
is it really?
There's someday, oh yeah, everybody.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Everybody. And it's been happening for about 9 months since we did our first test screening. The Jen Garner, Ryan Reynolds bar scene, everybody talks about.
Is that affirming as a filmmaker?
Incredibly.
That that's what we're connecting to?
But you know why? Because it's easy to get people with flash. But it's harder to get people with quiet and with simplicity and with feeling. And some days you go to work to flex your muscles and show your director flash. But some days, like that day at the bar, you go and you know when to shut up, get out of the way, roll the cameras, let the actors and the writing do their thing. And in that bar, that's exactly what happened.
You absolutely nailed it. Sean, I got to tell you, man, Mr. Levy, it's always an honor speaking with you. Thank you for always making great work that makes my job easier because it gives me amazing things to be able to talk about, man. And you're always so kind to me, and it's never lost on me, and I appreciate you for it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Nice seeing you again.
Good to see you, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right, man.
we don't need Rose.